battering of Florida started on Saturday morning as bands of tropical storm force winds reached South Florida and the Spindly Keys braced for a potentially catastrophic direct hit on Sunday morning. The exact path of Irma is still uncertain, but it's very likely it will go north and follow the west coast of Florida, making landfall somewhere between Fort Myers and Tampa. This would spare the Miami area the storm's most ferocious winds and life-threatening storm surge. Whichever Florida city escapes the monster storm's most intense violence, the entire state is poised for a bout of furious weather. A total of 6.5 million people in Florida have been ordered to evacuate, according to the State Department of Emergency Management. Tampa and St. Petersburg are prone to flooding and would likely suffer major damage with any kind of storm surge or significant rainfall. The Tampa area hasn't had a major hurricane make a direct hit since 1921. It should be noted that because of the hurricane's angle of approach to the west coast of Florida, it is extremely difficult to pinpoint exactly where the center might move onshore, the National Hurricane Center said in its 8A.m. advisory. The storm is so large that all of South and Central Florida can expect hurricane-force winds at some point during the next 2 days. The National Weather Service warned that no place in the Florida Keys will be safe. An apocalyptic warning from the NWS on Friday night that this is as real as it gets appeared to be heeded by even the most hardy of residents to evacuate the lower Keys, and vehicles continued to stream northward. Key West is only 18 feet above sea level. Governor Rick Scott continued to issue warnings to residents in a mid-morning news conference on Saturday. The storm is here, Scott said. Hurricane Irma is now impacting our state. This is a deadly storm and the state has never seen anything like it. Scott was especially concerned about storm surge in the coastal area. The threat of significant storm surge along the entire east and west coast of Florida has increased, Scott said. And, levels of 6 to 12 feet above ground level are probable. This will cover your house. If you've ever watched how storm surge works, it flows in fast, very fast, then it flows out. You will not survive all this storm surge. Scott said that 25,000 people have already lost power in South Florida. Florida Power and Light, which services about half the state, estimated that 4 million homes will lose power. It's currently projected that the center of Irma will cross over the lower Keys around 8 a.m. on Sunday with winds of about 150 miles per hour. It should reach the Fort Myers and Naples area by mid-afternoon and Tampa by 8 p.m. The storm is then expected to go inland toward Orlando and head north and exit the state as a minimal hurricane by Monday morning. Irma weakened back to a Category 4 storm overnight as it brushed the north side of Cuba. The rugged terrain impacted its progress and the winds topped out at 130 miles per hour. But as soon as the storm emerges from Cuba and moves north, the bathwater-like temperatures of the Gulf of Mexico are likely to cause intensification. Early reports from Cuba indicated there was widespread flooding, power outages and many damaged structures. The storm was originally expected to make landfall on the east coast of Florida near Miami, but hurricanes are unpredictable, they often seem immune to traditional weather patterns. By the time it became apparent that the Gulf Coast would feel the greatest impact, it was too late for an orderly evacuation for those who did not leave earlier in the week. Naples Fire Chief Pete DeMaria cautioned residents to head to shelters rather than drive north on the only major escape route, Interstate 75. Even though the Miami area will miss a direct hit, it may still be subject to crippling storm surge because the storm has a footprint as large as Texas. The streets were essentially empty on Saturday morning as officials cautioned everyone to stay indoors. Special correspondent Newhouse reported from Miami. Times staff writer Chua reported from Orlando.